Oh,
There we
There we
go.
go. That's worked, doesn't it? What a treat. So we're back after an Easter break, My Mate's Creative Podcast. We haven't got an
the
intro
chocolate
this
eggs.
week. What does that say? Oh, that's all right. You've got a banner over your head, Rob, on my
No, that's
screen. But
fair enough. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's funny when you're
good
looking
Easter.
across.
Did you have a good Easter, Dave?
Uh, trying to think what the hell I did for it. Oh yeah, actually, I did a live stream to try and celebrate it
Oh yeah.
on the Sunday because I haven't done one in about a year, and it was Easter Sunday, and I thought, yeah, I'll give some paintings away, and yeah, it was quite funny to do it after probably, I don't know, at least half a year of not doing it. Got quite nervous, and loads of things go wrong when you haven't done it recently. And
Yeah.
but it's funny what you do pick up. Like this time, I wrote out a whiteboard and I put the questions on that you had to win, that you had to get right to win one of the paintings.
Yeah.
And I did the small paintings that I gave away. I actually fully finished them in advance and got them ready to post and everything. Because the problem I was doing in the past was like I'd start them, go, I'll finish them another point and give them away.
Oh, I
and
see. Yeah.
they've got to be fully finished. And I had them all ready to go, and all I was going to do is just write their names on the front and post them.
You can't
And
be
the
bothered
two
to do that
bit. Yeah, the two people who won were both people who live in Bristol that I know. So
Oh, that's all right.
yeah, but yeah, that was definitely something that needed to change, and something that's probably bring up again in this, which is about efficiency for sure.
Yeah. Well, I know you were saying there about things going wrong when you haven't done them for a while or ever done them before. Now, this week we're going to be talking about modern business models. Do you really need clients with all like the sort of crowdfunding and all these sorts of things that you can have access to these days? But I meant to start streaming on Twitch today. I was going to do it, and as well, I figured out how to do it now. I'm there, so I'm going to start.
Yeah.
It took me all day to problem solve it, and there's like, I'm pretty sure there's 8-year-olds on Twitch.
Yeah.
So
It's always the way with these things, though, isn't it? Like, it takes a bit of getting your head around it and getting into it.
Yeah,
Like,
well, one of my problems is that I think we've talked about it before. I don't want to have to use headphones. I want to use my monitors, my speakers in the studio, and this mic here. So I want to mute the mic essentially when it plays out the speakers, which I've managed to figure out now, and all the routing and stuff. So there's basically no bleed. But there was so many other things. It involved me having to update my operating system. That was the first problem because it wasn't. I'm very much of the opinion that if it's stable and never crashes, then I never do anything.
Yeah.
What are you on now?
I'm on Moave or whatever it's called.
They're not easy to pronounce, any of the Mac ones, are
No.
they? Sierra. Well, that one's easy. God.
So that's one thing I'm going to do to sort of try and evolve my business model, because I'm starting to think, like I said before, do I even need any clients? What is the client traditionally is the person who gives you a brief.
How would you define clients?
Yeah. How would you define a client, Rob?
Well, I just pay myself nowadays.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's interesting though, isn't it? Like, for me, I'm still like stuck in the mindset of a traditional client. Somebody comes to you with a brief that they want to do, and that's how I've made the majority of my money over the years. And a bit like you, I'm just venturing off into a world of like passive income.
Yeah.
And seeing if you can make a bit that way. So, there's always the demographic, I suppose, but are they a client? Like,
well, you're making all the decisions essentially, aren't you? I know you're
Yeah.
basing them on the metrics of what is viewed, what your viewers engage with the most. You would be most sensible to sort of evolve your whatever it is, your channel, to sort of focus in on that a little bit. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a client, does it? Because
No.
they're not giving you any brief as such.
And they don't have any control, do they? Yeah, so that's the client sort of bit, I suppose, isn't it? Having the final say.
Yeah. Yeah, so on Twitch, as far as I can gather, you can become a affiliate, like an affiliate streamer, which then you sort of earn ad revenue and all this stuff, which obviously you have to get up to a certain level before you can achieve that. But I think people can donate directly on the stream, can't they?
Yeah, I can imagine that one working quite a lot.
Yeah,
Especially if you get people who are nice and drunk on a Friday night or something watching your
Yeah.
well, I can feel a sneeze coming on, and it's like minute
suppose-
at this point, and it's changing slightly how I'm talking already.
It puts, I suppose you become an entertainer then, really, don't you? Because, like, that's
guess
what
so,
you do.
yeah.
If you're in a band, you'd be putting on a show without a client. You know, you would just be doing your own thing and putting your work out there. So it's far more of a
that's true.
artistic model than it is a sort of work model, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna write that down because I'm basically going to do make tunes in Ableton from scratch, you know, and try and explain what I'm doing in the most sort of layman kind of way.
Yeah.
Oh,
obviously-
that's what you're doing on it, right? Okay,
Yeah, no,
Thought
juggling.
you were just playing a DJ set.
Oh no.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, probably should have
okay.
explained that. So the one, the one issue, I mean, we've covered this before, is like stuff that I make on a service like that.
Yes,
Hi, Andy.
this is becoming a running joke.
So
Andy
the
does
stuff I
something
make
weird in
on a
between.
platform like that,
That was a quick one as well. That was
Yeah.
a quick one.
I can't then go on to use anywhere. Like I can't give it to my publisher or anything
Yeah.
because you know it's outside of the exclusivity agreements. But I think I'll probably just have to take that on the chin. You know, ultimately you could maybe use that music and sell it as your own stuff. You know, as you know, your own album, build your own fan base. But the way I'm going to have to approach it is I'm going to set a specific time aside every day.
Yeah,
So it's going to be Wednesday mornings, and I'm going to have to like sort of ignore my emails or, you know, push any work that I'm supposed to be doing on Wednesdays to the afternoons and stuff like this. Because I think
why
if
Wednesday mornings?
I don't know, just felt like it felt like a good place where, and
Oh,
if I'm
fucking
doing
no.
stuff earlier in the week, I can either get it done ahead of time or push it a bit later.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if I do it on Mondays and then some work comes in on Monday morning, like I've got no room to like sort of shift it around or do it early. I feel like if I do it midweek, I can
Get
allows me
yourself
scope
organised.
to shove stuff about.
Yeah, yeah.
We normally go clubbing on a Sunday night after this anyway, so
Yeah,
Monday's not going to happen.
no,
Wednesdays, yeah, I'd probably choose that as well. Wednesday morning,
Yeah.
Do you
do
think-
something different.
Nice. I love
do you think
all
it's a
these
platform you'd get into, Dave?
What, Twitch?
Yeah, because obviously it's more it's big for like it originally started as gamers, but there's a lot of people doing the music production. I'm not quite sure where your niche might fit into it, but it is a big platform.
Well,
Is it just
if you-
streaming? Just streaming, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, have you gone down the rabbit hole of what Twitch is? Because I feel like I might have in the past, but I don't really know what sets Twitch apart. Really, is it just that people can pay money on there when they're watching it live?
yeah. Well, originally it started out purely for gaming, a gaming platform, I think, and people would, you know, there's loads of them on YouTube. They like talk over the top of them playing games, essentially. Which I mean, I'm not. So I don't really see the appeal, but I don't think it's really aimed at
No.
my age
Us
group.
oldies.
Yeah,
Yeah. I used to watch my mates playing Mario, so you know, same thing in it.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, through his window, pair of
Yeah.
binoculars.
Yeah. I was never let in.
Yeah.
I'm
No, I
not
can't-
blowing my nose on.
I can't
on
quite
it.
see
Gross.
like your traditional tutorial like you would have on like you would film and put on YouTube.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work, I don't think, on
No.
on Twitch, because what you're going to do, like a live. You could do a live painting, I suppose.
It'd be
Well,
long
yeah,
though,
that's what I
wouldn't
was
it? It'd be
thinking.
long, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you know,
Right.
people just come in and out, don't they?
Yeah. Okay.
My thing's going to be
What
like,
do you mean it would be long? The painting
do-
would.
Yeah. So the stream would be long, wouldn't it? Be like a week.
Would it?
In your studio. And now I'm going to
What-
bed to refresh myself for the morning.
What? Why? I don't know what that means. Why would it? Is it? Does it? Do they have to be long? Do they?
Well, because you live stream it, don't
It's
you?
like real
so
time,
you can't
right?
edit it.
Yeah, but I would do a live painting over there.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
What's going on? You tell me now what's going on here.
Are you okay, Dave? You're right, mate.
Well, no, I
Have
mean,
you-
well, can I not just do a speed painting on there and then,
Oh, well,
Yeah,
you could. Yeah.
and then
Could you?
bounce?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you keep saying, well, it would be long though. Like, what does it have to be?
No, I suppose the thing is that
Not
if,
telling me it has to be.
when you when your videos
Long
are
painter.
when your videos are long on something like Twitch, people sort of dip in and out of them. Like, it gives people time to accumulate, like
Yeah.
viewers and stuff, and you go, "Oh, what's going on over here?" If you were on for just like 2 minutes or whatever, 7 minutes doing a painting, I don't know if you ever get any viewership.
I
Do you know
see.
what I mean?
Yeah. It works a little bit of a different
The long
way.
form definitely does work better with it. Like, if I didn't have to do non-disclosure agreements and all this sort of stuff for my work, I'd just like live stream a whole day's work, like just my desktop all day, because you know you'd see all the nuances of a day's working in that field. But it's just not practical, because you know you're giving away all your clients' work.
I find that annoying. Well, yeah, is that the word I want to use? Annoying. But it's a lot of things that I do from week to week and not necessarily things that I can film or post on like my Instagram and that, and the jobs that I'm doing. It's a bit of a weird one, man. It's
Can you ever post about them, or do they get so it goes so far into the past that you're like, oh, pointless posting about it now?
one of the things is that it would be a bit of a hollow post for anyone just like seeing someone that's something that's being commissioned specifically for someone. It just wouldn't fit with what I'd be posting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just kind of, making money that way. And sometimes like the one I've been doing 2 last week that I don't want, because the people follow me on Instagram, but I don't want them to see the paintings until I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
But there's one of Marilyn and one of Amy Winehouse, and they would make for good content, but I can't show them until they're finished because I don't want them saying, what's going on there? And also they've been going really wrong. So they don't make for good content. Although I have noticed though that posting failures and talking about failures, people like that.
I suppose you're like if talk about a business model point of view,
Yeah.
it's like part of your money that you earn from your commissions or whatever, you've built into that a sort of marketing budget, which is the work you have to produce to get your profile out there. So even though it feels like you're doing work for nothing, you actually have to, put that in the price originally so that you can have time to do that work, because that's how you get the work, if you know what I mean. It's like a business having a marketing fund.
Well,
You have to make sure you've got it in there, don't you?
Yeah, like I did a painting of DMX at the weekend, and I've got to be honest. I was quite hungover from Friday, and I was doing it in the studio in my free time, really. And I went there and I spent, I ended up, exercising on the studio floor, just trying to get me in the right headspace, doing something that I didn't have to do. But as you say, it was like trying to keep the marketing side up is still posting things that
Yeah,
you
and
want to look
it's
at.
part of your job, isn't it? It is part of the job.
Yeah.
You know, like,
this is the thing I've come to realise, because I've been in a similar mindset with doing these tutorials on Twitch. It's like I can't see where it's going to grow my business. I mean, you can never really see where your advertising is going to lead you, but
no.
like it's like, well, these people, are they gonna? What, are they not going to buy some of my songs? No one buys songs anymore. I mean,
No.
you know, what are they gonna?
But
Maybe they'll get me to produce.
Can I
some
buy your
music. I don't
song?
know. Yeah, can I buy that song off your Twitch, mate?
but yeah, that's it. But it's hard to. It's very hard to pinpoint things like that. Like
Yeah,
the greater outcome is that, you know, there's probably scouts on Twitch nowadays, or I don't know, whatever. Like, or you can set yourself up as a, you know, come away and do a music producing weekend, and it's like your calling card for that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah,
it's thinking of ways, isn't it, to use your exposure
yeah.
to push people down the funnel, mate.
So I was thinking of doing these like Wednesday mornings, and then do like every week, and then give myself some sort of like metric to look out for,
Yeah.
which is just like, you know, you got 10 followers in the first month, or I don't know quite how it works, subscribers, whatever they're called, you know, just to
They
help
stay up there, the videos.
I think Johnny said they stay up there for like 3 months, and then they sort of like come off. So there's you know, there's so much content going up. I guess it keeps their, like, you know, server size space down.
Yeah.
Just thinking how it works with things going viral, or and because obviously a lot of the time, if one of the ways to get a bump is for one of the things that you make just happens to hit a spot with everyone and goes viral.
I think a lot of people
repost.
Go on.
I think the thing is, though, viral like is very good, but just don't count on it. Like, don't ever go out to be viral. Just go out to produce good content, and if something happens to go viral, that's great. But like, it's not worth, like, steady content is better than on and off content, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you can consistently put up videos talking about making tracks, it is consistency is one of the main things. If you can convince yourself that how am I going to make money from this, you're not going to make more than one video, are you?
No, that's true. I need to get myself out of that mindset, really.
It's tricky, though.
Get way out of it.
But it's tricky because your time, anytime you're not working, really, you're losing money because you can place most of the things you make. So it's a very tricky like thing. I suppose it's like you have to be at that point where you're a little bit bored of what you're doing now and want the next challenge to be like, let's push on and like see what I can do now. I've done this for long enough. Well, you know, I can keep this going, but I need to add something else into the mix as well.
I think I appreciate the fact that I don't do any marketing, really. So this is a platform which at least allows me to basically just sit here and not have to really think about the production side of it, because it's just a screencast. There's no like webcam on or anything, because it just like with tutorials and that, it just gets in the way. I always see like whatever video I see with someone who's got like the little box with their face in the bottom corner.
It's annoying.
Some point it gets in the way. Like
it's even more annoying when it moves around the screen depending on where they're like working. That is very annoying.
It's a good feeling when, like, I did 7 days of doing Avengers characters, where I did 2 a night for 7 days. I did live paintings, and it is a good feeling once you get more efficient, and when you start to the point of pressing the live button where you sort of come in and you get ready. It's funny how much you can progress with that, and you start going live in this really sort of slick way, and the way you come across on camera, like from day to day when you do it quite a lot. So maybe like the first few times you should try and do quite a few and just iron out all the
Yeah.
what works
Right.
and what doesn't, and see what the
Do you
hell
think-
comes back.
Do you think, because you've had more experience with this, Dave, than I have, that it feels more rewarding to get a job that you do for a client and the client's like, yeah, I love that, here's your money and all that. Is it more rewarding to get a few members of the public who got no motive or anything to really sort of go, yeah, I really like that, and that was a really good live stream? Do you feel like that's more rewarding than a client? Because
Yeah.
money aside,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there is a, almost embarrassing level of validation that you want from,
that's the word, yeah.
and you do paintings that are a bit more, yeah, the client thing is, I think, yeah, it's a good question, that. I think, yeah, there's people who are watching you and kind of people who know you and all these things, where the funniest one is where people who know you who should be liking things and they don't, especially from live things. I mean, that's all going through your head when you sort of finish your painting. You go, it's a live one. You go, yep. That was crap, because even my mummy's not saying, yeah, good one. Yeah, it is.
Good eyes. Good eyes.
Yeah, I like the background. I'd rather you not say anything. Yeah, I think there's a lot more. You're throwing a lot more out there to the general public. Like, you're taking bigger risks, so the reward is bigger.
I suppose as well with the client.
Just like a mediocre, even just something that's it's not your best, but it was fine. I can handle that kind of thing. So a lot of live things like that, but it does genuinely feel like you've accomplished something even when you do anything live, because you are taking a risk of like.
Oh yeah, there's a risk of producing music live. Man, I've made some appalling shit. Like not even 50% of the stuff projects I start in Ableton turn into anything.
No, you start with a wood block for some reason. It's the loop.
What are you going to say, Rob? Sorry.
I can't remember now. I think I was going to say
Wood block.
Oh yeah, something about just with clients. There's there's an expectation, isn't there, that you're in an agreement, and it's like you finished the job, so it's like yeah, great work, great stuff, yeah, great stuff, yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Whereas like someone to actually,
They sound like
but someone to actually come, go out of their way and give you that validation is, it's good, isn't it? Like, I very rarely comment on people's stuff, really. Like, there's a few things that I have, and I'm just like, oh man, that was amazing. Like, it's usually something that's helped me out that I needed to, when I can't export a project or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you realise you just sound like all the other knobheads on there, don't you? So I
Yeah,
go back to not commenting again.
What do you think that's? Do you think that's a generation thing? I mean, I don't. I will admit I don't really comment on YouTube videos. I do go out of my way to subscribe and turn the bell on and like it if I'm engaged with the content. And I know commenting really does help them out, but just can't be asked.
No, that's it. Isn't it? It's like...
Do you ever feel like if you go to comment on YouTube, I feel like someone else I know might see my comment, and it makes me really aware of like what I'm writing, because when I write comments, it's generally like proper bigging up someone that I've been watching. So it's I always end up writing something really nice underneath, and for some reason I think it'd be really funny if like anyone I know just saw my comment on their thing, like, oh, here he is.
Great dumpling recipe. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it sounds silly when I'm saying it now, but I feel really aware when I'm on YouTube writing. I don't care on other platforms, but YouTube, it feels a lot more unique writing comments.
Do you think it's more heavily focused around the comment section than any other platforms, I would say.
Because it's non-scrolling, isn't it? Facebook's a scrolling thing, so you can comment and then it disappears, whereas YouTube, there's longevity to whatever you say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
live forever.
Yeah, it's a pretty it's a horrible place on a lot of things that you watch on YouTube, but there's certain follow things that you follow where everyone's on the same page, and it's like taking the piss out of something. It's great reading the comments where there's just one little bit. I'm here for the comments.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson eating popcorn. Yeah, I'd find it really intense if you got massive on YouTube and you couldn't help yourself but read the comments. Because
would you? I think I might. I mean, you are supposed to engage, aren't you? Like, that's what they say. I mean, Joe Rogan says post and ghost, doesn't he?
Because like his last studio, he's changed it now finally.
Oh, not the red one anymore.
Moved into that red god awful studio, and like the comments on his Instagram and everything, I would end up going through them just to check that everyone's on the same sort of page. And I mean, it must have been, it was so many comments that he must have been relayed it or read them, because he does admit sometimes he reads the comments.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was so one-sided, just like an absolute disgrace of a studio upgrade. And it was, I don't know how we would have avoided something like that.
True.
But he's got a studio now.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, check it out, mate.
So you were did a live stream or a live Q&A, did you, with Garibaldi?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well,
I don't
funny,
really know what the deal is.
Yeah, he was doing a live stream. He's got like a few 100,000 followers. And
so do you want to just explain who he is first for people who may not know?
To Rob's mum. David Garibaldi's sort of the original speed painting that I came across. He's kind of like, he's been doing it about maybe 15 years, but he's only a year older than me. But that was just like what he got into pretty early on. And he's enormous, especially in America. He is the very top of the pile. He does like NBA half times, and does it for pretty much all the basketball teams. And he's been doing that. He supported KISS. He's raised about $5 million. He's just, and he's on top of that. He's so prolific, It's quite unbelievable. He just does not stop doing, and it's so consistent. There's no kind of, his page, if you scroll down it, is just how it's supposed to be, where it's a mixture of paintings and like bit behind the scenes of the paintings, but it's all around speed painting and anything to do with that and events. There's just no complications, and it's like, that makes sense. He's always kind of like progressing and moving on to the next thing, and it's all, I think it's all got a sort of good solid backbone of how to make it a business as well. He hasn't been able to work at events for like the last year, so seemed to be just doing live paintings like every other day, and he's always very impressive. And he's trying out this new thing where he kind of splits open on the painting someone's face that's famous, and then so it's like two halves of a head, and then in the middle it's kind of like things that give them their personality. I think he calls it what's inside their head. He's just done one with Deadmau5 where they did like 100 prints, and Deadmau5, he signed every one of them, and then they released them. And he was talking about it, and he was like, any comments of what I should do next? And I put, no, just do a self-portrait, opening up David. And then I was like, just coming back from the toilet, and it suddenly said, join conversation. He's like wanted to add me in. And it's so funny how casual that can suddenly be now, where you just press accept. I was like just walking back from the toilet, and it was like, all right, it's it is really good getting to talk to someone who does exactly the same thing as you. And it's he was trying to ask, what do you feel like, for people who are trying to become professional as artists, like what would you say to them, that where they sort of realize that they're becoming professional or that something. And I was like, well, I think like efficiency is something that I always feel that is something that I always feel like that is the part where I can really see me getting better, like how I go about things from, if I'm going to events, like getting my first, like gig box, that you actually shut, as opposed to like an IKEA bag for your leads and I was about to say a butter box. That's not a thing. Your butter box for your blades, and all those kind of things are always progressing. And I was saying that, these days, the latest things, like in my studio, like more and more, I'm getting more and more containers which have labels on them. And it's like red pens going here, stapler here, and like more and more boxes. And it's the same. I was saying that the sort of speed of when you come in to your work area to when you start painting for me, or, anything that we do, that's something that I feel is when you really get that point where you're like, I mean, this is a job as well, because by the time I walk into my studio and go through the door, to when I'm painting now has taken years to get to where it is now. But it's so pleasing when you walk in and everything works nicely. That is pro.
I guess you've got a more of a pre-production process than I have, because all I've got to do is turn the computer on, really, and it's all there.
Damn it.
That is such a different. Well, I always remember when we were in a band, and it used to drive me crazy as a drummer that I had the most gear to take apart at the end, and Ben would be singing, and he sometimes wouldn't even take the microphone off the mic stand, and he'd be sat getting drunk with all the, the people coming to watch us, and I'm taking apart a full drum kit and putting it in a car that never was big enough for it. It was like, I still think that stuff now sometimes, but so for me, because I have more stuff, I try and part of feeling like where the professional side comes in is to make that easier and more efficient. And that's what I was saying to him, is like, try and make the area where you're going to be working like more and more set up for you to be able to work efficiently, and that you want to be there. And it makes such a difference, man, when it's not just like squalor, not just like a mess. There's a place for everything.
Do you think he's got does he have a team working with him? I mean, like when he tours and stuff. Yeah, he must have.
Yeah, he has he has someone who generally, I think he has someone who sets all up all his stuff when he paints, really, but I don't know how deep that goes. But he always has a sort of, assistant, and then he has a manager, and I think he probably has someone who like his tour. But the funny thing is, he does still edit a lot of his videos. When I met him in London when he was supporting Kiss, he was still editing all his videos.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about that because, there is still an element of your touch of when you're editing is like, and making stuff, it really has to have your element in it.
Yeah,
I don't think that would go
I
with.
can understand that,
And then another guy joined in called Matteo from Australia, and he brought up how he got into speed painting. He was basically said he was on his deathbed. He's the same sort of age, but he has like something that almost killed him. I still think he deals with it, and that kind of blew David's mind, especially because it was all linked to like, you got me into it, and it was like, wow. I think I had just been complaining about something really trivial as well, and then he just joined the conversation and started saying that stuff. It was like, I gotta start talking like this, man. But one of like the I had painted the floor in my studio, and then I did a live painting event, and hadn't taken the paint all over the floor into account, and was just slipping everywhere. And it was like, yep, this was the first thing that I ran into as a problem doing it live. And by the second day, you would have sorted that kind of. If I did it painted again the next day live over Instagram, would have sorted that out and everything. Yeah. But taking those risks with doing stuff live, man, you just gotta do that first one, man. Do you think you'd find it a bit like? Would you just go live like that'd be all right, or would you get a bit?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No. Yeah, I think I'll just go. I think I'll dive into it. If I hadn't done this, what we're doing now, then I'd be a little bit more edgy. I think with the Twitch thing, because it's not going to be. I'm not going to be able to see myself like we can here. Yeah. So basically, just feel like I'm just doing a day's work, but just talking over the top of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the what I want to achieve with it. And then obviously part of the reason, same as this, why people engage with it is like you're giving good advice, hopefully, and you're injecting a bit of your own personality and character into it. So hopefully it can kind of like do some of that as well.
It comes back to the thing that I've definitely said a few times, that when you're doing something, it helps. When you're doing something and you're talking, it definitely helps quite a lot to get the content. I think you end up saying funny shit, and you say and do stupid things when you're like you failing trying to make a beat. I'd happily watch that.
Yeah, it's good to see that stuff as well, isn't it? Because there's too much like of everyone out there doing things first time, and that's not really reality, is it?
No, there's no industry without.
No, that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably don't.
Nice noise, Dave.
Have the.
I thought you were, yeah. Where? Yeah. That was too much agreeing.
I can imagine your studio's kind of set up and ready to go the whole time, is it, Rob? Where your work?
Yeah. Everything's just left in place, and we've got that's it. There's a few changes we have to make, but like again, it's it's the old. Everything has a place. Know where it is. You know what you're doing. Yeah. I think, for me, like aside from the obvious, like if you're getting paid, you're a professional. Like that old adage, it's over half of your income or whatever, isn't it? But I think it's like your relationship with people and how that changes. We talk about going clientless, but I think how you deal with clients is probably quite a big step up from when you turn up as this like meek little mid-20-year-old like hello, actually being able to have a voice and tell people when stuff isn't achievable, because people try and take the mickey a bit when you first starting out and you just kind of agree to everything, and then you get to a point where you're just like, well, no, you can't do that. It's not achievable on that sort of money or that sort of time or whatever.
That's a tough one, that, isn't it? Because you got to both be a yes man, because it is. I always got told that. It was like, just say yes to everything and then work out if you can do it afterwards. Yeah. And it was a really good thing to be told that, because I think I would have been a bit more of a prima donna maybe if I had not been told that and go, you can't do that. I know that. But if you sort of say yes to it and then work out if you can do it afterwards, because I think people remember that, don't they? You don't want to be remembered for like, I don't know, all the time.
You're kind of, at the moment, because of the COVID situation, you kind of pretty much are client free. I say client free. You're still doing stuff for people. I don't know. People, I suppose, a commission from a member of the public is no different to having a client, is it? Really? Because they still.
Yes and no. I mean, the clients are generally, the money's a lot bigger in the. Yeah. I was about to say the stakes are higher, isn't it? That's a bit dramatic, isn't it? No, it is different with clients because, you've got to the word professional has got to be your very best version of that. But as Rob was saying, you know, compared to the early version of you, where you, you know, you're really smart and polished and like serious and stuff. You know, you do realize after a long time that you can be a lot more relaxed.
Most people are just people, aren't they? Like, that's the thing. Like, you create this world in your head where everyone's like, oh, and actually they're not. They're just like most other people that you meet, and it's like,
you do. I think that also can get a bit much sometimes, where you think you've cracked it and you get too relaxed.
Yeah, I'm like that. I can't really. I'm not. You know, I don't really. I can't change myself very much. I find it very difficult. And like, so I am just who I am, and like, it's probably not always a good thing, but it seems to go down pretty well. Like, I know how to judge things, and how, you know, I'm quite a good judge of character, so you kind of know what you can say to people. But yeah, I do struggle with that side, because I don't want to be that person, really. I don't want to be that uber like suave professional.
No, I don't think necessarily that kind of person succeeds that well these days in the creative industries. Certainly in other industries where, you know, that is an asset of a character trait.
Industries.
Yeah, but I think these days most people are fairly savvy, client-wise, will see through someone who's just like a bit fake, which is essentially what that is.
I think if you've got the time and experience behind it, if you've got some sort of work that really if you can stand by your work and you can talk about your work, then if you're passionate about what you've created in the past, I've noticed that really rubs off well with clients, especially if you're talking to them in person and you're like giving them examples when they're trying to work out what they can use you for, and you're like, well, I did this thing once, and you start connecting it all. It's a really gratifying way of doing it, where you're like giving them examples of how you would go about it, and then you can really relax, because you're not just waffling on trying to get work out of them. You're like using your examples. It's weird. I saw someone the other day walking along and they had a portfolio, it looked like, in like a folder, like back in the day. It was just couldn't help thinking, I don't know if you need that.
I know what you mean. I think it depends what job they were going for, but I think if someone came with a physical printout of some illustrations, if I was looking for an illustrator, you know, if I'd set up a meeting
looking for a DJ, mate.
Yeah, for interviews and stuff, I think I'd want people to still come along with a physical media.
Yeah.
If it's for print and stuff as well, you kind of need to see it in print, don't you?
But if it's full of like MP3s or something, fuck off.
Yeah. Comes with everything on a DVD rewrite.
Yeah.
Mate. So gross. The one I used to carry around was just so. There's just no. There was every page was something completely different and filled with all the options. It's something that I think it's one of the first things you end up telling anyone who's sort of trying to improve and get more work. Like, well, let me show me some of your work.
Yeah. Where do you point people towards more? Do you point them towards your Instagram?
I guess so. I mean, my website is just a graveyard. It's and I keep meaning to update it, but then I get more work, and I just think I just don't know. I just don't know what I want it to be anymore. Like, I was fully. I'd been working and developing with a guy that I'd met who was a web developer, and we were putting together a new site, and it was all going to be based around like speed painting and just make it really, really good for the future. Yeah. And then COVID happened, and I was just like, probably don't want it to be this for a while. And that was like a year ago. So just at the moment, I don't know what I want it to be, because then I'll just make it for somewhere you can buy prints. And like, I don't want to sell prints that much. So as I say, it's just like this weird place where my promo video on there is probably like from 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual sort of website is kind of, it's not really got as much meaning for you, because it's like, it's pointless having it as a shop front, because people who consume prints going to buy them through like a more of like a site that sort of aggregates stuff, that has hosts loads of different artists on it. Like, and otherwise they're going to contact you. Like, most people contact you via Instagram, do they?
Yeah, but like, if you're in any position working for a business, you might start by finding someone's website. But in this day and age, naturally, you're like, right, what's their name? Yeah. And naturally, even if you're doing it for personal reasons, you're going to probably try and see if they're on other platforms.
Yeah.
I can't put my Instagram page as private because that wouldn't work. So like, if I was any client looking at me, I might start on my website, but I'd probably go, well, let's see what he's like on a more personable thing like Instagram, where you get exposed a bit more. But the funny thing is, once you get a few under your belt, which like for me recently, being told that Google had been looking at my stuff and really liked it and was trying to sort out work, that gives you an idea, because they liked all that mad randomness. And
that's true.
It does make you think. You just got to be you.
I am surprised. Go on, what are you saying?
I said that's it, innit?
No, I'm surprised by, because my website is my main front essentially, but I don't really push it in terms of like, an SEO sense, and I don't like try and rank particularly high on Google for it. It's just a convenient place for me to point people towards. But I'm surprised when people email me. Like, I had an email from a German company, like car supermarket place, just a pitch for this advert that they're doing for, it's like a car supermarket in Europe. And I was always surprised how they like find my website, because if you type sound designer, I mean, I don't know where they started. It's I don't obviously rank anywhere for that. If you type sound designer Sheffield or sound design Sheffield, whatever, I'm pretty near the top, obviously, because it's where I'm based. So they obviously,
You do it's not LinkedIn or anything then?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn and that. I guess they just like, I don't know.
Unless they've used you from other clients and you might have got
I didn't recognise any of them. Should have asked them, really.
Yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it?
How did you find out about me?
Yeah, give them a questionnaire.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh dear.
It's What would you ever go live with anything, Rob?
I don't know what I'd go live with what I'm doing. Like sitting in a bush for 3 hours waiting for a chiff chaff to come out. Like, don't know if that'd be that interesting, really. I think the only thing I'd do it with is if I was probably going to do like something musical, I should imagine. But the only thing I can think,
it's difficult, isn't it? It doesn't work for every medium.
No, I suppose maybe the tutorials. If I ever got to a stage where I was going to do processing tutorials or editing tutorials, I think that's a good way to pump them out without. Like you would on the Twitch. With
you on the Twitch?
Just crossed over to the next age bracket now, Rob.
Yeah. How many G's you got on your phone? But yeah, things like that I think work quite well. But I can't see me. I prefer a bit more of a polished product anyway. If you know what I mean. Like I like it to, just because it's what I kind of earn me bread and butter in. So I do quite like the things to have a bit of sauce to them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
we could do something when we do it down in Bristol. Maybe we could do like a live set of some weird mixture of the three of us, like do a live set of making music with
we should
24 hours it's up, isn't it? Are we still streaming? This is well good.
Yeah.
We should say that
another podcast.
that we are going to once the lockdown measures ease and stuff, we are going to start doing them in a studio all together with guests and have more like a season structure. Like we'll probably do like maybe film six down at your studio with have guests and release, I don't know, one a week kind of thing, and have like a bit more. I want to use the word structure because it's a bit risky, but
yeah, stay away from that.
Well, I think we would,
guys.
Yeah, we wouldn't do
way.
it. We keep forgetting when we're trying to get guests sorted out that I keep forgetting to tell them. It won't be live. You can just
because
it'll be edited. Yeah, that's another thing. It'll be edited. Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of forget because it is quite nerve-wracking. People are sort of scared that they'll say stupid things.
I think we should tell them it's going to be edited and just send it out live.
Yeah.
Just
really
sign
throw them under the bus. Try and provoke really rowdy answers, like
un-PC. You've been cancelled, man.
Wow, I didn't know I came across like that. Yeah, we were pushing you in that direction. Yeah. Anyway.
So if anyone who is watching wants to be on it and lives in Bristol,
say hi.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
Or I can give you a lift down there, Mum, if you like.
Yeah, I was going to say get Rob's mum on.
Yeah.
It should be good though. It'll be interesting. It'll certainly make it a more well-rounded product because it's difficult, isn't it, in this format?
Yeah. How do you picture it looking? Are we going to be around a small table? Or are we going to be around?
Well, we can't be around too small a table because we probably still have to maintain social distancing.
A small table with PVC in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to have.
Can't go breaking laws, especially not on camera. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just release them like.
That's true.
Later
down the line. Yeah. We're blatantly just talking about it.
Talking about it live that we'll release them later.
Or you can do what everyone does and just go, "This is all right. I've not got COVID. I haven't got it."
Yeah,
so,
test it anyway, can't you? And just if you come back with a negative test, it's all right.
Just live together for 4 weeks before anything happens. Live together at a distance for 4 weeks, and then finally, move closer and closer as it gets closer to recording.
We would have 4 weeks of living together and then filming the first one. Be so short with each other. You're always doing that.
It'd be like a band documentary.
Yeah. I think if you filmed any of us when we were in bands, if you got us at the wrong point, we would have been so horrible on camera just from getting used to doing the same things too much.
I think the live streaming platform and just like the online video platform, but more specifically the live streaming stuff, I suppose. If it had been around when we were had more free time to do it, and idiots, I'm surprised. Maybe people are a bit more savvy about it these days, but would have put some right risky content up probably, just because you think it's funny when you're pissed. I mean, maybe that content is up there, but it just doesn't get the algorithms push it, to the back.
Well, until you get famous, and then someone digs it up and send you immediately out.
Yeah.
It does worry me a lot, and it didn't even happen, but it still worries me that if this option would have been around when we were at a certain age, man, where it was just let's break something whilst we're drunk. And it was just hang on, let's film this. Let's stream this.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was a bad idea.
I think that is one of the reasons why I don't comment on stuff that much, because I have occasionally started writing comments of stuff, disagreements and stuff, and it's like, so a client or someone might, it's quite easy to find out what my YouTube channel is and what videos I've commented on and stuff. And he ends up. There's a guy who I was going to do some work with, and he connected with me on Facebook, and I ended up not giving him any work in the end because he was just it wasn't racist or anything, but it's just getting into arguments about shit that's not important, like Call of Duty or like or whatever. Really big arguments with people, and it's like, you don't want you like representing my company, really.
No.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I look at it in the reverse way when I'm sort of, I'll probably just delete that comment. Better not post that.
Yeah.
Safer not
The
to
worst
engage.
ones, I think one of the reasons I came off Facebook was a lot of things, you know, that the way that the fake news could twist you to the point where you're almost so angry that you do want to write a comment, and then you manage to hold back because you'll watch a video and it's so one-sided, and you get really, and then something comes out like, you know, a few hours later and it's the other side of the argument. You watch that video and you're like, oh my God, man, like I was so ready to get like fully one-sided with this certain topic, and then I watched the other video and I'm like, wow, I love quite indifferent at this point.
I love commenting, but keeping a level head and just being really like level with these people as they get angrier and angrier, and just like keeping it very flat. Just like, yes, that's an interesting opinion. However,
yeah, that is infuriating if you very one-sided and middle ground guy.
What's your next project for your channel, Rob?
I've got a few on the go at the minute because I've been trying to do this barn owl business, which isn't working out very well. So I'm sort of gonna start thinking about things in terms of numbers, and like perhaps trying to do a few, like, you know, just like review the lens I use or whatever, because people search for that just to bring them in. I don't really want to do like strict reviews, and you know, it's just like a opinion piece almost, if you know what I mean. But that works in terms of keywords. So I've got like, and I'm going to start trying to shoot like multiple videos at the same time because of the format I've slipped into. That's quite achievable, I think.
It's a biggie,
So there's a bit of downtime at the minute before anything else.
Do you think you do in
up.
terms of like your reviews for lenses and stuff, rather than it being like, you know, top 5 things I like about this lens? Presumably you can slip it into this kind of format as your video, like you can film it as, you know, take some photos out in the field,
and just talk about it
sort of
honestly as well, because the thing that most reviews miss is like, oh, this new lens come out, you know, you got to have it, and it's like, that's a 12 grand lens, like how many people could afford that? And I really want to push the point that like, I can't afford that, this is what I can afford, and this nearly broke my bank balance. You know, this, and what do you get for that? Why do you save 11 grand on that lens compared to this lens? And is that all right for most people, sort of thing? Do you know what I mean? Because there's so much like, you know, the latest camera stuff on YouTube, especially if you follow a lot of photography things, it gets a bit like, you end up thinking, oh my God, I haven't got the best stuff, I'm not going to get the best shots. And it's like, it's all rubbish. Like, you know, you could spend like 20 grand on a camera and lens setup quite easily. And like, I don't know, I think you need a bit of something for the real people as well, if you know what I mean. Just like from my point of view, I can't afford it, I'd love to, but I think I have to do it from a personal point of view.
Presumably you can see there is I know there is a percentage difference when you drop that sort of cash on a camera. Like it has to be worth it, I guess. Well, it depends what your class is worth it, I suppose. But
well, it's like anything, isn't it? Like it's with cameras, as price goes up, the function you get actually tails off. They're more desirable functions, if you know what I mean. So the curve sort of goes, you know, you get loads, and then it's like a real sharp curve at the end. And it's like if you really need that stuff, you'll pay the extra money. If you don't, like, it's
the funny thing is with reviews, if you're considering buying something, you will. Well, I know I will. I watch loads of reviews on it on YouTube, and some of the channels you end up getting on where you see that they've got about 5 subscribers. It's like some dude on the other side of the world, and he's like the awful audio, and you're still watching their review. And
I might find out some more information.
Yeah, just got to find out any extra things.
But that's
I do it all the time, man. It's a great way.
I think I'm just framing it as to where I've come from. You know, what lenses I've upgraded from.
Yeah,
you know, good. So why that's relevant. I don't know. Yeah, I just think like you get sick of the I'm testing out the new 600mm, and you look at it and they're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, like 10 grand. It's like, most people can't afford that, surely.
Yeah. Definitely follow too many people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there must be plenty of people who do buy products in that like premium price range because there's probably quite a lot of people outside of professionals. That's not that much money as a hobby to some people.
No, that's it, isn't it? But I mean, the price of them alone must mean that they can't make that many of them because the cost would come down, wouldn't it? Like,
I suppose so, yeah.
You could do one, Rob, on like how to shoot wildlife on a budget. That's quite a common area.
Yeah,
you could do a piss take video where you're like how to shoot on a budget.
No.
And
that sounds like Roper sort of business. I don't want any extra characters in my videos, thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I started working on another one the other day, and I sort of started in the morning and I started typing. He was like, "Yeah, maybe an art therapist." I started writing it all out. I wrote a full script and everything, and then I started working again on actual work. And then I just rethought about it a few days later. I went, no, I don't know. Just don't think I'm gonna bother with that.
But that's the thing. I think with my channel, it has to find a voice, and it'll be somewhere in between what I'm doing now and who I really am eventually. But I think for me, it's just I have to keep it as my opinion. It's definitely my opinion coming from me. Everything I say. It's even when I'm giving tips and stuff, just making clear that this is what works for me. There's probably loads of other stuff you can do, but this is what I do. And you just another, just another thing to watch. I don't want to be that authoritarian, this is how you should do it. You should never go above this. You should always have this because it's it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah. There's no need to be like that at all.
Just a bit chilled out and
Yeah, I've noticed I say that more and more, and it's in my opinion, it helps as well. If you kind of don't hold yourself accountable if you start with that, you can sort of.
But it just avoids so many arguments, doesn't it?
It's exactly.
It's just saying, I really don't agree with you, so here's what I think. And that's basically, or my favourite is, you're entitled to your opinion, however, I believe it is wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah. Still entitled to it.
Well, maybe that could be, maybe you can fit that into your homework somewhere, Rob.
I never managed to do last bit of homework, but yeah.
I can't remember what it was now. It was so long ago.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with homework at the moment. Yeah. The amount of ones where I've filmed all day, and then when it's come down to it, it just hasn't been right.
What were you going to say, Andy? Did do the review?
Yeah, not necessarily do it, but get it all sort of planned out.
Well, the thing is, that's it. They're quite easy wins, really, because they're quite quick to do. It's easier than a full-fledged project. So it's good little content to slip in between.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to do.
I look forward to watching that next week.
I'm going to do the live streaming Wednesday, 9 a.m. Check it out.
Wicked Wednesdays with Andy.
9 a.m.
I don't know.
6 a.m. till 9. So it's in time with Good Morning Britain.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't suppose it really matters because it's going to, your target audience isn't necessarily Britain, is it? I don't know how it.
No. And if it's on there all the time as well, surely that.
Yeah. So I think they prioritize live stuff, and then to go and the post-dated content, it kind of just sits there and you have to go and look it up yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just making this up now. I don't know if that's true, but
I forgot I was being recorded then. Oh god.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I'm going to do that. What have you got, Dave?
I was trying to think. On Saturday I filmed a video of me painting, and I just got the filming. It was absolute amateur hour, man. It's really grainy. It doesn't even look in focus. And it was what was going on there? I was just not filming correctly, and I've ended up with. I'm so low in my chair.
That's the parent on
Well,
FaceTime.
well,
I
you
call
see-
that one. All right,
Yeah,
how you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad one, man. It's like it's deflated me a little bit. It's just
So
such a
what?
waste of.
If
Yeah,
Dr.
so-
Mix can have a 20-minute video out of focus,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
you'll be fine.
No excuses.
Yes, that is a bit of a bug when that happens. However, I'm up to, just to let you know,
What's going on?
7 subscribers now.
Oh, you are on your channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, your like your stats, your analytics are quite good. Like your view counts for
Yeah,
to
72
subscriber ratio.
and 46.
72.
72 to 46.
Okay, now
Uh,
we're miles behind.
7 likes on one video and 5 on another.
Is there anyone watching this?
2 people, yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Johnny's probably watching.
Me and you, Dave, I reckon.
Yeah, we're watching on. Still watching each other on this. Keeping the stats up.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's probably a good place to wrap it up, really. But yeah, bye.